Clobbering time! Clobbering time! It's clobbering time. Welcome everyone here. Sorry to start late there, folks. But we are here. We are here to clobber. Clobbering time issue number. Whoa. YouTube 199 overall for the 12 plus freaking years. 899. That's too much. I need to stop one of these. What am I kidding? We'll hit 1,000 soon before the end of the year, maybe. Maybe? Well, maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Right?
You should. That's right.
Oh, my goodness. Welcome, everyone. Again, the great Stone Loki is here. I will say my greetings, my friend, and felicitations. It is always an honor to have you here, buddy.
Clobbering time! See, I haven't said that so long, I can do it multiple times on the screen. So my voice has had time to rest and rejuvenate. So, yeah, we're kicking ass and taking names and stealing babies' lollipops tonight.
Yes, indeed, buddy. And, of course, as always, appreciate that great intro you made for me.
Do you want a new intro? Do you want a new intro?
A new one?
Yeah,
and dude, you're a busy man. Don't worry about that. But if you want to make one up, look, I'm always open to it.
Dude, I miss seeing Tex Conway go. It's clobbering time. They're at the beginning.
I like that.
He's putting on his cowboy hat. It's clobbering time.
That's true. I like that.
So, dude, we gotta get you a countdown, your own countdown, and yeah, we can do that. I can do that.
Well, thanks, man. Look, don't bust. Like I say, don't bust it because I know you're a busy man. But if you ever do it, I would not turn it down. I would happily accept it, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I would love to do that for you, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I do appreciate it. Phantom Outsider, hey, buddy. Lord Thoth, Avon lives and long lives the Legion, bro. Good to see you, J-Man. If you are still here, brother. Good to see you. And again, we got to get together again soon. That was a fantastic time we had last Wednesday talking Dread with you there, buddy. Revisiting the movie Dread as we did. Dadman Walking 55, a good chap, by the way. I've been playing, I don't play video games much, but those Mark D with a C and the other chaps have had forced me at gunpoint to play a little live Fortnite with him a couple times, and the great Dadman Walking was there, and I got a chance to hang out with him a little bit. He is a good fellow.
Nice.
And also here's the great D. Bud Martin, the man of iron, great Iron Man fan who wrote an Iron Man book that he had sent me, and I said, and it's really cool, man. The great master of all that is wrench Canadian, Chris Persia. What's up, brother? Good to see you there. Who else is here?
Do you mind if I do a shout out for a buddy?
Do it, buddy.
Speaker for the Dead is here, guys.
Hey!
And Speaker is a great guy. Brian is a wonderful guy. He has a cool channel. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. It's Speaker for the Dead. He does some great reviews, especially on anime. The guy knows his shit. So
excellent. Please check out Speaker. And again, if anyone, I don't have a link available, but if anyone has one or whatever, I'd be happy to have one put in the chat. Please go subscribe to Speaker's channel. Good to see you there, Speaker. We appreciate you. The great Captain is Deckard, a replicant Spock. What's up, Cockney? I saw a little bit of your show. Thanks for the shout out. We got this thing going on now, Loki. I made a confession the other night.
Really? Oh, and, do tell.
Oh, Stephen Thompson. Hey there, man. Good to see you. Janet from another planet, the lovely Janet. So good to see you there. And see, as you can see in the title of his name, he has a controversial name. Captain is Deckard, a replicant Spock.
Of course. Is Deckard a replicant? Is he a human? Is he a replicant?
Right.
I think he's a replicant, but that's just
well, it's a burning question, though, isn't it? Mark D with a C, bro. Look, hey there, man. Oh, good to see you there, J man. Glad you're here, bro. I have my Mark the Infinitely Tired. What's up, brother? Good to see you.
So really quick, let me ask you: do you like the original Blade Runner with the narration by Harrison Ford, or do you like the final cut?
Jobber, what's up, buddy? Therein lies my my confession I was going to tell you about there from the other night. JT Kirk, good to see you, brother. So what happened was, I think it was a Saturday night on the Saturday Night Star Trek, because as you know, that's a hotly debated thing in fan circles. The whole Deckard thing. It's funny how you never really hear any people talk about other aspects of the film these days. They just talk about that question. Well, I made the terrifying, the astonishing confession that I have not seen Blade Runner since 1982 when I saw it in the theater as an 18-year-old.
Oh,
and you'd have thought I'd confess to a string of murders or something.
We gotta do that, brother. We gotta get a group together and watch. We watch both. I love both of those movies. I'm a weird person that really loves both of those movies. I love the narrated version because to me it's like reading a detective novel. You've got and Harrison hated that. He was like, I hate this shit. Why do you got me doing this? But I really like it. It makes it feel like a detective novel. But then you've got the final cut with the added stuff in there, and you've got the unicorn scene, which they totally took from the movie with Tom Cruise, one of his first movies. That Legend. Thank you. They took that footage from Legend, ladies and gentlemen, and threw the unicorn in there. But that means that he's a replicant because they all dream about that fucking unicorn. And the cop that is played by Edward James Olmos knows that. That is why he is constantly shadowing Deckard to keep an eye on him, because he is the last of the human Blade Runners. He got injured. He's not a Blade Runner anymore, but he's the last of the human Blade Runners. Everybody else is a damn synth. They're a damn replicant. So it's like, is he or is he not? Was it originally intended to that? Whatever.
Sure. It's a burning question. Well, it's a burning question. Here's the thing. I hear there are like 50,000 different versions, but like Deckard says, so what? That's what we were talking. We said, I'm going to watch it. I actually have my son has a DVD. This is before Blu-rays kind of hit big, of the director's cut, but I think it has multiple versions on it. And again, go ahead.
I got a 4K version like that. When I got the 4K version of Blade Runner, I got the special like anniversary 4K pack, and it's got every version of the film, including that, because there's a middle of the road one that was only shown at it was like at a con or something. Can't remember exactly what it was, but that is the one with the scene of them driving off that they stole from The Shining. They stole that from The Shining, where they're like going off in the mountains. They stole the scene from The Shining. So it's got every version of the movie that ever came out, including the 4K of the original with the narration from Harrison Ford. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What I basically decided was, again, because there's nothing against it. It just, I saw it as an 18-year-old kid, and never really watched it that much, and never just went out of the way to watch it again. And a buddy of mine, many of my friends, everyone in the world, let the world pass me by, and they all love it and everything. And I never went back to it. So I almost think I should wait till 2022 so make it a round number of 40 years. But anyway, I told Deckard that Captain is Deckard, a replicant Spock, that I would watch it, both versions or whatever, and then we talk about it, or at some point, or talk about it with whomever wants to talk about it, whoever wants to get a panel together or whatever. And let me say something to Dad Man Walking. Thank you so much, Dad Man Walking 55, for that $4.99 super chat, my friend. Really loved that I can contribute to your channel now. It was a load of fun to get to play Fortnite with you and to chat, especially college football. Yeah, dude, that's another thing I'm working on. Thanks, man. I'm trying to find somebody who knows pro football history like I do, and I want to do a show about that again. Pro football, not modern pro football because it sucks. But
you wouldn't need anyone that knows everything about Walter Payton and the fridge, would you?
you know someone?
I might know someone who was a big ass Joe Montana fan back in the day that loves Joe Montana, Walter Payton, and the fridge.
I hope you mean yourself. Because I was thinking, because I talked with Nick a little bit about this and even Vigilante recently, because I used to, on my old show on Blog Talk Radio for 12 years, I, of course, until last year when I swore off the NFL because they got political, as you well know, after 50 years of, now I like college football, okay, but I'm a pro football fanatic, especially, and yes, we will get to Batman, everyone, I promise. Yes. I'm a pro football, especially pro football history. It's a big thing with me. And I love this show called on NFL Network that they used to call NFL Top 10. And I love watching it when they talk about I just love football history. And so, if you have that kind of love for at least those characters, then you can converse on NFL adequately for me.
I would love to. I would love to. I haven't talked football in forever. Travesty of justice, just in case you didn't know this, Clobby. There's a video game out there, and it's called the Madden series. And guess who the top quarterback in the league is this year?
You mean the new Madden?
New Madden this year.
Isn't it always Tom Brady?
It's not Brady.
Rodgers.
He's a free agent.
Well, not Mahomes. He is not a free agent. Not Rodgers. Just signed back.
It's Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick is on there.
They've got him at a 99 rating. He's got the best stats in the NFL, and he's a free agent.
He didn't even get signed. No one's going to sign him.
No one. He immediately gets signed in the season play. If you play in the season, a team immediately picks him up because he's the best damn quarterback.
Oh my God!
Didn't you know that?
I'm glad I'm never buying Madden again anyway. That solidifies it.
I haven't bought a Madden game since Madden 2015.
JT Kirk.
I won't play him.
I know the entire history of the Detroit Lions. Well, and they have a storied history. That's a fun topic. The Detroit Lions. Our poor old buddy Vigilante Williamson is a long-suffering Lions fan. He's going to be fun to talk to. It's pretty simple. Like, for example, I want to get together with whoever wants to do it. There's a channel that just did a video, the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks for every team in the league. For that the history, and I wanted to comment on that damn video, but I have nobody to do that kind of show with anymore.
Well, I would love to. Just know that I'm pretty controversial, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a Walter Payton fan, and Walter Payton would run circles around Emmitt Smith. Walter Payton set every record in the NFL until Emmitt Smith, and it took Emmitt Smith 10 years to do what Walter did in 2.
My fat ass could have run for those yards with that offensive line Emmitt Smith had. Barry Sanders and Walter Payton did a lot of it with no help.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm sorry, everyone. So, usually when some geek audiences get hacked when you're talking football, but now I got you now, because I would like to get a couple of you, and just I can't, like I said, for years I did because I had a buddy of mine who was a Bears fan. I did a Saints Bears show where we would both talk about the Saints Bears we would preview the game, and then we would talk about the last week's game, and then we would talk about and we would pick all the we had a we pick all the Sunday's games to see who would win, fun stuff like that, in addition to all my geek stuff. So, and now I've been looking forward to doing, I'm not going to do modern NFL anymore, but I love talking the old stuff. JT Kirk, brother, thank you so much for that $5 super chat, my friend. This year I am 100% football free. Me too. Woke trash, especially with what they're doing in the stadiums, but we're not going to get into that right now. Big Ten and NFL just ruins it. And the Romans had games to get people away from thinking. But that is actually very true. And I totally understand you, but I do. Part of me misses it and it's sad to me because I really looked forward to it. And actually, as a Saints fan, I got out at the perfect time because Drew Brees, his old broken down ass, finally retired. And they got Jameis Winston in New Orleans. They're going to win 4 games. Sorry, New Orleans.
That's what our entertainment is supposed to do, JT Kirk. It's supposed to get us away from politics and bullshit in real life. And that video games are guilty of it. Movies are guilty of it. Comics are guilty of it. They're all inserting politics because they want you surrounded by their ideology. People are waking up, though. That's a good thing. People are finally waking up and going, you know what?
Right.
This
Absolutely.
is food bar. I don't want your trash in my entertainment.
Absolutely. And by the way, speaking of college, dude, what's it? I heard that Oklahoma and Texas are joining the SEC. So, what's the Deckard Road? Pittsburgh Steelers had no chance. Went down like silence. Well, in the 70s, they did own the 70s though. So, if Eric K was here, I would say, "Holy Toledo," because he was an old school Raiders fan. But anyway, let's see here. 2 show notes to get started, folks. Sorry about all that, but I'm not sorry because I love talking to Loki about stuff like that. And, but if you get me on football, I'm tough to.
I never get to talk about shit like that. It's like Lord of the Rings. No one ever invites me to talk Lord of the Rings, even though I love Lord of the Rings. So it's like one of those topics that when someone's like, "Hey, you want to come and talk Lord of the Rings?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's go."
Dude, you, me, Nick, and Vigilante. Why don't we? I want to just talk with all kind of stuff. Of course, I want to break down that video about the Mount Rushmore quarterbacks, and I like to do reaction videos of some of those top 10 lists.
Yeah, absolutely.
That will be a lot of fun, man. I know it's not geek stuff, folks, but yeah, I love it.
Anybody who says Brady's the #1 quarterback ever, never watched Montana. Hey, Brady never came back from a broken neck.
Well, they never saw the hit that Leonard Marshall put on Montana. Brady, you can't sneeze on Brady. So don't talk to me about Brady. I could do that crap if and then not that he's. I'm kidding, but when if you can't touch a guy, it's kind of tough. You could. Montana had the shit beat out of him.
Yes, Montana had the shit beat out of him and kept getting up and kicking ass and taking names. So
Eric K, holy Toledo, there you are.
How's it going, Eric K? I got to meet Eric K at Vegas. We were in Vegas. It was awesome to get to meet you, sir.
Oh, great. Absolutely, man. I wish I'd have been in. I wish I'd been able to be there, man. 2 quick show notes and we'll get going. I promise, folks. Sorry about all that. Let's see here. Saturday will be, I'm no Global Geek Gang tomorrow, but Saturday will be a CLOBBERIN Times double feature at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That is, of course, August 28th, the birthday of the great Jack Kirby. This is Jack Kirby month. He would have been 104 years old. Love that man. Love the greatest creative force in the history of comics. It's not even close. That'll also be CLOBBERIN Times issue number 900. But I'm not going to do 900 Kirby covers, even though you could. You could. Narrowing it, people say 104 because I'm going to count down the 104 top Kirby covers as I see it. My lovely friend Purple Valkyrie will hang with me. And, of course, Loki, if you're doing nothing, you're always welcome to stop in, buddy. But I know you're busy on set. But either way, you're here tonight. That's all that matters, man. But if you feel like it. But I will in this researching. If people say, "Wow, isn't that a lot?" No. Kirby covers, let me tell you something. I could pick 2,000. And so it's going to be tough to prioritize them in order, but I'm going to do it for the fun of it. Count them down and celebrate Jack's birthday and celebrate my 900th episode. And then Saturday night, of course, 4 more episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. We're into that second season, folks.
No, not the Doctor. No.
It's tough.
I hated her. Pulaski. Oh.
Yeah, better than Wesley, though. Whew. Of course, he's there, too, a little bit.
But A Matter of Honor is dude, I love that episode.
I like that one. Schizoid Man's interesting. They're getting a little bit better. Actually, last week we had Elementary Dear Data. I've always enjoyed that one. So
yeah,
a little bit fun, but
just Pulaski's getting bad on crumpets. You know what? Keep shoving those in her mouth. And keep her quiet. Oh man!
Oh my goodness!
I'll watch every Loki sexist. No, Pulaski is just annoying as shit.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
he just hates Pulaski.
Oh my goodness! Oh God, we're watching the Niners, and my mom said she didn't know Barry Manilow. He did sort of look like Barry Manilow. And to be honest with you, dude, as a Saints fan from the 80s, I hated Joe Montana. But I got to watch him play in person also. I got to watch him beat us in person because that was the biggest sin.
I got to see him play for the Kansas City Chiefs. I never got to see him play for the Niners, but I got to see him play for Kansas City. And that season, I was a Kansas City Chiefs fan. They made it to the playoffs. They didn't make it beyond that, but I would have loved to see Joe Montana win another Super Bowl. So yeah, awesome.
I got to see him come here as a 49er a few times and as a Chief once. So Roger H, thank you for that 199 super sticker, sir. I really appreciate it. Or, I'm sorry, it's Raj H. I apologize. I welcome here. It's great to see you there, so I appreciate you. But yes, so well now, dude, now I'm excited about that because I'm gonna find some. I will check with you, of course, and I'm gonna find some. I'm gonna try to set up a time where we can do that. Then, and if we can do a little NFL talk, real
Count me in.
NFL talk. Oh man, that's fantastic! I'm excited about that, buddy. Let's see here. Yeah, I hated Montana because he beat us all the time. He was the best. I'm a Johnny Unitas guy myself, folks, so I'm old. Now there was this little thing, and I'll pull up a picture, I guess, of a DC animation, folks. We're going to talk about a little bit of DC animation. DC animated films, for me, were once quite good. I'm having a bit of a microphone problem, folks. Hang on, my boom is that'll hold, I guess, for now.
We're gonna get you a new boom arm.
Well, the arm's fine. It's just the way I have it rigged up is a problem, but I think I could be okay for now. I'll try to. Looks like I'm fine if I don't mess with it too much. Sorry about that, everyone. Let me pull up some pictures here. DC animation, folks. DC has made DC straight to animated, straight to DVD or straight to video animated films now for a good while. And even I like some of them, used to like some of them. I know it's hard to believe, but I did. There were so many that I thought were really good. And then I kind of fell out of love with them a little bit. Well, there's a great Eric K with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Eric. Bobby told me if Stan Lee created Batman, he would have been the best. You know, they did a comic book about that, Eric. There was some comics in the 90s. I don't know if you remember these. There were this Elseworld things that Stan Lee did these for DC. DC versions of the characters, if Stan Lee had written them. The thing is, he really didn't write them. He put his name on it and acted like he convinced a little bit in the story. But that happened, Eric K., believe it or not. Anyway, thank you, Eric K., for that, brother. Holy Toledo, the Bronze Surfer, Eric K. So these DC animated films, I used to put it this way. I can name you a handful of ones I really loved back a while back. LOKI. I loved, for example, even though I had some issues with it, I loved Justice League New Frontier. Batman Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles was in that too.
Yeah, he was Red Hood in that one.
Yep. There were rumors he was going to play a live action Batman on Arrow. He was going to play Bruce Wayne.
Really?
We were never going to see him as Batman, but he was going to play Bruce Wayne on Arrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were in talks to bring him in, and then they went with a different direction when they did the time traveling lesbian. Sorry. Whatever the fuck that show was called, Legends, whatever.
Oh, yeah, Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, which I hated. I tried to watch that show for a while, the first season and into the second season, and couldn't stand it. Hey, Mark the Infinitely Tired for $4.99. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that so much, buddy. I heard you on the comic book store. Is that true? That sounds like a nasty rumor spread by the comic book cabal conspiracy theorist Eric K. But it's true. No getting away from it. Yes. But if it makes you feel any better, I wouldn't own one now if you gave it to me.
God help the comic book shop owners.
It's over, man. It's so over. So they've done a few of them that I really liked. And then they started adapting the Screw 52. First they adapted Flashpoint Paradox, which I hated. And then I just really hated that thing. Then they adapted the Screw 52. And for me, that was it. I was done.
Did you miss Gotham by Gaslight?
I never was too big on the Elseworld story, but I know they changed the ending to be really terrible. And I won't. This will be a spoiler review tonight, folks. But as far as other stuff, I won't really spoiler it too much. But yeah, what the hell? They changed it from one of Bruce's cousins being Jack the Ripper or whatever to Gordon, which was asinine.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to screw with everything, and they screwed with the Long Halloween story in this thing.
Yes, they did. I love the opening of part 2. I really do. When Ivy opens her legs and she's like, "Come into my bush," and literally pulls him into a bush. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a real bush. I wasn't being nasty. I thought that was absolutely fucking excellent. But after that, it pretty much all goes downhill after that.
Yeah, by the way, Mark and Anthony Todd, that's right. I've been to that comic shop that you worked at, Golden Dragon. Let's see here. Bop, bop, bop. Did a nasty little hobbit just run through here spreading nasty rumors? Club, he owned a comic store. Next, someone is going to tell me at D. Bud Martin is part of the cabal trying to take over the world's. Should have finished it with the world's comic shops, but yes. So I hated Justice. I hated a Flashpoint Paradox, as I called it. I hated Justice League War, and after that, I stopped buying these DC animated DC animated films. So we're going to spoiler alert, everyone. We're going to talk about Batman: The Long Halloween now. The first part, Loki, except for a couple of really horrific things, I pretty much enjoyed it. I really liked the animation. I liked the voice acting stuff. I think everybody's really good in it, voice acting wise. Jensen, I think, does a great job.
He did. Absolutely, he did.
He's terrific.
Naya Rivera,
right?
Sounds like a good Catwoman. You had Troy Baker come in and fill in for Mark Hamill as the Joker, and Troy Baker just does a Mark Hamill Joker impression the whole time.
And whoever does Mad Hatter in the second one is also ripping Mark Hamill for some reason.
And Billy Burke did an absolutely wonderful job as Gordon. I believe that Gordon, the voice was there.
Yes,
you had some really good voice cast work for part 1, and part 2 was just the same. You had Katie Sackhoff come in as Poison Ivy. I didn't even know that was Katie Sackhoff. I had to go and look up who the hell Poison Ivy was, and I was like, holy shit, it's Katie Sackhoff as Poison Ivy. They had a wonderful voice cast, wonderful animation. I completely agree with you.
When our good buddy Nick Weiser, when he and I reviewed part 1 on his channel a few weeks ago, I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10 was my, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm misremembering it.
There were some stumbles. It did stumble. 7.5, 8. I would agree.
But there was one thing in it that's so bad it deserved really to be knocked down less than that, because it's got one of the most unbelievably moronic, stupid ass things. Again, the kind of thing that makes me physically ill.
This is a kick in the nuts to Batman fans.
It's so, look, whoever wrote this. All right. Again, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've been warned the spoilers. Okay. There's a line somewhere toward the end of part 1 of Batman: The Long Halloween. And by the way, now I'll just say it. All right. There's a mystery going on, and there was reasons for it being fairly baffling in the comic book. Well, Batman says, and by the way, I went and checked with an expert. I have a friend of mine that is an expert on everything Batman, far surpassing me big time. He's my Batman go-to. And he's the one that got me to read this comic in the first place back when I didn't want to touch it back in the 90s. I asked him if this line is in here, and it certainly is not in the comic book.
No, it is not.
Batman,
I have all the original comics, and I have the novella of this. Batman is not in the comic.
It's not in there at all. Batman says the line, folks. I never thought when I started this I would ever have to be a detective. That makes me want to beat things. Hey, Dave Bob, good to see you, bud. That makes me want to beat things to death with my fist. First of all, does anyone know? Raise your hand if you know the first comic book Batman ever appeared in? What was the title again? Was it Action? No. Was it Adventure? No, wasn't that either. Oh, I know. It was Amazing Fantasy. That was where Batman first appeared. Right? No, it wasn't that either. Journey into Mystery. Maybe it was that one. No. Was it the Fantastic Four? That's it. No, it wasn't that either. Starts with a D. First comic. He's the world's greatest D something.
Dave Bob got it. Dave Bob got it. He's got
Detective Comics 27.
Detective Comics.
He's the world's greatest friggin' detective. Yeah. Why would you put that? Look, they put that on purpose. There's no way you can put that line in there. No way. And not be not doing it for some. I mean, there can't. It's not an accident, and it can't even have been done out of ignorance. I refuse to believe it was done out of ignorance. You can't be making this, and I'll give you some more reasons why in a minute. But you cannot put that in there. You're doing it on purpose. For an asinine, you could have just simply said Batman, because it's fine to make Batman fallible. It's fine to make him screw up. It's fine to do all kinds of things with him where you could, he's not perfect. He can be baffled. He can make mistakes. I have no problem with any of that. That's character stuff for him. But he trained as a guy. Well, dude, it makes me so mad. I can't see straight. He trained as a detective. It's part of his MO. It's part of his character.
They're erasing that in the new Pattinson movie.
Are they really?
He's filled with white rage.
Oh my God.
Every time he faces a villain, he lets all that rage out in the fight. He's like, he's beating the shit out of him because he's like having a mental breakdown over his parents being killed. So he's like just losing his mind every time he goes into a fight. That's why he looks so emotional in the trailers, because every time he gets into a fight with anybody, he's reliving that moment, and that's what's fueling him to take down bad guys. It has nothing to do with preventing that from happening to anyone else. It has nothing to do with that. It's all about revenge and reeing because his parents got killed.
I'm going to say, and again, a quick aside, everyone, and I have to do this for a specific reason. Jim Krieg, I salute you, sir, on something. Jim Krieg is, of course, the producer of this thing. I bought the second. I'm going to veer a little bit, everyone, but I'm going to get back to the point, I promise. But I bought the second Blu-ray because I like these DC Showcase comic book shorts, cartoon shorts that they put on some of these things, and I was looking forward to one of them on there. And they got one. They have one on the new Blu-ray about the Blue Beetle, and it's so good because it's based. It's sort of like a throwback to the old Spider-Man cartoon done in that style, but it's the Blue Beetle, the Charlton characters, Blue Beetle and Question and Captain Atom. And if you watch this thing, you can tell this thing is written by people who really know and love comics. And I put that out on Twitter the other night, and Mr. Jim Krieg, shout out to you, sir. Liked it on Twitter. He actually said something. He commented on it. And he followed me, and I thought that was very nice of him. So I'm not taking. Look, I full respect to you, sir. I'm not taking a swipe. I'm giving credit where credit's due, but I'm giving criticism where criticism is due. I really love that Blue Beetle cartoon you did. It was fantastic. So I don't know who to blame. I just don't understand how that line gets written at all, and I don't understand it gets recorded. In other words, if that line comes across your desk, I don't think you go, hey, see this? You're fired because you've obviously never read a Batman comic. So it couldn't have been done out of ignorance. I don't know why it was done. It's absolutely horrendous, and it's not forgivable. I mean, you can still like the film if you like it all. That's fine and good, but that's not forgivable. Putting that in a Batman animated show or in a comic book or wherever you put it. But I still love that Blue Beetle cartoon. I wanted to do that because I wanted to be fair to Jim Krieg. I don't know how this happened, how that line got in there. It is inexcusable, but I'm still, and I stand by that, and I hope if he never heard this, I'm just saying if he does, if you happen to be listening, Mr. Krieg, full respect for what you did with the Blue Beetle cartoon, and and the animation on this thing's terrific. We were just talking about some of the voice casting. That line is antithetical to Batman. It does not belong here. Now, moving back to there are two parts 1 and 2. Loki, I found the first part, except for some of the stuff where Catwoman's still kind of saving his ass a little bit in the first one, and she's a little bit, for the most part, a pretty entertaining movie, almost standalone by itself.
It felt very much like the old animated series. It really did. I was very impressed. It felt like the animated series. It worked like the animated series, and like you said, except for a couple of bits here and there, it was good. It was a very enjoyable movie. I was impressed. I went right to you and was like, dude, they did a good job. They did a good job. And except for a couple of things like you said. And guys, Clobby's the one who was like, dude, did you hear this part about how they said, you know, oh, I never want, and I was like, no, I didn't even hear that. When the hell did it? Oh, it's towards the end of that. And I went back and watched it. And I was like, son of a bitch, they actually did do that. And but it was so just small, and I guess I was just so wrapped up when I was watching, I didn't even hear him say it. So it was one of those things I didn't even notice the first time I watched it. I watched it a second time. I really liked it, except for what we said earlier about the couple little things. Part 2 is not so lucky.
Oh my God!
What did you think about Poison though at the beginning?
I was too angry. Right there, I think she's. I mean, she was okay. I don't really. I mean, I guess I was probably been okay with it if Batman was not an invalid for like the first half of this second part. But that's another thing. That second part cannot be called, and I'm sorry, folks. That second part could not be called Batman: The Long Halloween. It must be called Catwoman: The Long Halloween.
That's right.
Because she comes along, and I don't mind her once in a while helping Batman, since one of the underlying themes here, because they're pretty much seeing each other in this thing, is I don't want a partner. I don't want a partner. I want a partner, of course, way before Robin, I guess, at this point. Even though the villains are all established except for Two-Face.
Yeah.
I don't want a partner. Well, she comes to save his ass. And I mean, not like in the first movie where she kind of helps him a little bit in the first part. She saves it. He's been enslaved. He and Alfred enslaved in the mansion for 3 months by Poison Ivy. That's bad enough. She shows up and she fights, to help him. She fights Poison Ivy, and Poison Ivy doesn't lay a glove or a vine on her because she's the bestest ever. She has superpowers.
Do you think? And I found something really weird at the end of part 1. There is a message at the end of part 1 about Naya Rivera, who played Catwoman, who died.
Yes, a young lady died
in the middle of all this.
Yes, tragic death.
They do not put that up in part 2. And that would have been the place for it, because it's almost like they rewrote a lot of this to showcase her.
They didn't? Oh, it's true. Huh? Wow.
And they did not put that message up there that, in honor of Naya, rest in peace. They didn't put anything up there about Naya in this part 2. And I'm wondering if they didn't do that because they almost made the second movie, half the fucking movie's about Catwoman saving Bruce Wayne.
3 times in the first half. Look, first of all, she said, not again. It's one thing for her to help him. She out and out saves his ass from Poison Ivy, and even that, if it had been portrayed more like a struggle, Poison Ivy's got all these zillions of gigantic plants coming after her, and she's able to dodge every one of them expertly like it's nothing. Batman couldn't even do that. Batman will get smacked around by when he fights her, but she's immaculate. She can do everything, and she's never even so much as works up a sweat or is threatened because she's the bestest ever. Don't tell me that's not modern politics would work in this thing. It is big time. I'm sorry. Wokeism comes to a full effect in the second part because Catwoman's got. We can't have. See, here's the thing, folks. I'm sorry. We don't do politics on this channel. I promise you. But if it comes to a point where you have to point it out in something, I'll do it reluctantly and I'll keep it to a minimum. I promise you that. All views are all welcome here. In this case, what happens in this movie, especially in the second part, is a matter of we can't have a full-length feature about a white dude running around being the big hero. So, and if you can't, and yes, she's a white lady, but she still will at least go the feminist route. And this will be all about Catwoman saving an incompetent boob, which is what Batman is in the second part. After she saves him from Poison Ivy, he goes and gets his ass handed to him by Scarecrow, and she saves him again. He's an absolute fucking invalid in this thing.
Have you heard about the full movie that's coming out that they're doing? That's going to have 30 more minutes of Catwoman.
Are you kidding me?
No, they're releasing in October. They are releasing part 1 and 2 as a full movie, and they're adding 30 minutes, and it's supposed to be mainly about what's going on with Catwoman. It's going to give you more of what Catwoman was doing while all this other stuff was going on. I don't know if Naya already did the voice. I don't know if they're going to have someone come in and finish that, but That is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get in October a full movie version of this. So everybody who's already bought the Blu-rays, guess what? You're gonna have to buy another one to get the extra footage. I mean, they haven't done that before. But yeah, it's gonna be mainly scenes with Catwoman added into it.
Well, isn't that nice? I really just need to change the name to the Catwoman: The Long Halloween. And I thought once you get past like the first half hour or so of this thing, it's the second part. In my opinion, it is damaged beyond repair because I'm so aggravated by Batman being such a wuss and Catwoman.
It's not just that; it's stupidity. There is definite.
There's so much stupid crap in this one. Yes.
There is a point where Batman is told exactly who Holiday is. He knows. And he can't put the pieces together. Like literally, Batman's in the basement with the door open and hears this conversation. And anyone in the right frame of mind would have been like, okay, this isn't Harvey. This is this other person. And he completely spaces and goes right to Gordon. It's Harvey Dent. You're not gonna like this. And you're like, are you a fuck? Who the fuck are you? Because you're not Batman.
He's so not Batman.
Is not fucking Batman.
He really isn't. Eric K, $5. Thank you so much, buddy. Clobby said if only Batman has the great deductive reasonings of Wesley, he would have no problems at all with any. Yes, Wesley Crusher would. Well, that's what she is. They have Catwoman to be Wesley Crusher in this. Eastland Burkle, how you doing? That 70s rock band. Hello there. Welcome, sir. But you're right. He sees the Oxford thing, and he knows Harvey didn't go to Oxford.
That's right.
And then he later even asked, so did Harvey go to Oxford? Oh, my God, you know he didn't. Gordon even tells you he didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't take a fucking rocket.
Oh, my God, he's an imbecile.
It was Yale.
And he was a Gotham boy. Remember he said he's a Gotham boy through and through?
Yeah, he's a Gotham boy. He went to Gotham U.
Yeah, it's holy crap. I mean, that's just what is wrong. Look, people, Darius Munchausen, good to see you there. And look, it does anger me, folks. Credit where credit's due. I like that first part in spite of some unbelievably dumb things that were in there. This second part is absolutely, I don't know what else you can call it because it's Catwoman. It's all about her, but it's not just about because she's never was really that big of a part of the other story, right? Of the original comic book, right?
Nope.
If you want to do a Catwoman movie, they did a Catwoman short that was kind of okay on the DC Showcase thing. Go do your Catwoman movie, woman. I'd watch it. Maybe it would be good. Maybe it wouldn't. But don't do it to Batman.
Did you notice this when she comes down the stairs at Wayne Manor and she pretty much tells Alfred what to do? And Bruce is standing there like, hey, don't look at me. I'm just a cucked bitch. She's literally running Wayne Manor at the end of part 2. She's in charge. I'm the queen bitch here. You all are my minions. Do what I tell you to do.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And like Dave Bob says, Bruce Wayne Batman is a genius in strategy and thinks 10 moves ahead. Not here. He's adult.
No, he's adult.
And
he
this
can't
is
fight either.
No, he can't really fight. I mean, like he takes on the kung fu dudes in that first one, and she has to come help him. And by the way, at this point, he's something like about a year or two into his career, which is kind of strange because all the villains except for Two-Face are established. So that's kind of he's supposedly put all these baddies in Arkham. The one interesting he actually did the fight with the Joker in the first one's really good. At least that's the one time. That's probably the only time he acts like pure Batman in that one when because the Joker always gives him trouble, and he beats the Joker, and that's the one true Batman bit of action in all of this in terms of Batman actually fighting his own battles and winning. If you take that out, the rest of the time Batman is absolutely useless. And that's not an accident.
Yeah.
That is on purpose. That is done to make sure that you can't have, I'm sorry, folks, you can't have the, hey, hello there, Adega Outlaw, good to see you, friend. You cannot,
Adega.
you can't have the evil white dude be the hero and be competent, because you already have the villains. You have Gordon. He's kind of okay. He's portrayed fairly decently, but I don't know. It's just pathetic, man. It absolutely takes you out of the story. It takes you out of really nice animation. It's a shame because it did a nice job. Look, folks, again, how many times do we have to say it? Just make Batman in a Batman film. You want to do a Catwoman straight to DVD thing? Knock yourself out. If it's any good, we'll watch it.
But see, that's the thing. They've all been caught saying the same thing lately, and that is we have to change the main characters to conform, because we can't use characters some people might not have watched. So any female characters, they're not going to have them come out and stand strong without making the main characters like Batman, Superman look like weak bitches. They did the same thing to Superman in the latest comments with Jonathan Kent. Superman is basically like, I'm a bitch and I can't do anything but you. You're my son. You were born on Earth, so you can do anything. Sky's the limit for you, my boy. But I'm a little bitch who can't do any of this stuff. So
it's pathetic. This is all about taking established, great, iconic characters, and tearing them down.
Yes.
And classic male, yes,
to make their own, to make the characters they want to make powerful. The only way they can do that is by trashing characters we love. Yes,
this is not a deconstructionist type of a story at any stretch. It is about it's not deconstruction of Batman. It's about weakening Batman. There is a difference, but it is about tearing these characters. In this case, this whole thing is about tearing Batman down. And that's what the second part of this thing is about. And replacing him with Catwoman. And of course, they added this weird horseshit crap about her being Falcone's daughter, which is total crap. Even that, a lot of Long Halloween, the comic book, was taken from a lot of it. It strip mines very much Frank Miller's Batman Year One. A lot of it. Long Halloween is almost like a sequel to it in some ways. It uses a lot of characters that Miller set up with Batman Year One, and that wasn't part of it. That Miller didn't set that up, and I don't think Loeb did either. I don't think it's in the original comic book either.
And this thing with Bruce's parents being like mafia, that's all Screw 52
that's
shit.
A bunch of garbage. Yep.
Yeah. That's all Screw 52 shit.
It is.
That's all shit that's shown up in the last year, because his parents can't be the iconic Waynes anymore. They have to be horrible people, and you've got to show everyone how horrible your parents were and how better you're going to be. Because your white rich parents were horrible and left you with all this money. Making
them the crap with him with Thomas Wayne sort of close to the Falcons and all that kind of stuff makes me want to puke.
And they say you got to catch it. It's very subtle because they subtly throw it out there. The reason why that was happening is because Thomas Wayne was opening clinics all around Gotham, and he needed property that Carmine Falcone owned. So he made a deal with Falcone to get those properties and open clinics.
Garbage. Even Batman Begins didn't do that.
No.
Even Batman Begins, they kept, Bruce Wayne didn't want, again, he was killed kind of because, and he was not, Falcone didn't like him. Oh, you got to be kidding me, man. This is so friggin' bad. Yeah. The second part is so bad, folks. First part had that one horrible glaring. That was a red alert, by the way. That, because it was relatively toward the end, the stuff about the detective thing. That was a red alert. They said it at the time. I honestly didn't think they would do this thing as poorly as they did. Again, really good looking animation. It's not only is it really insulting to the character, it's also kind of boring, to be honest with you. First part had a lot of good stuff in it. Like some of the Joker stuff's really good. When it's just being a Batman story, which is again some of the stuff with the Joker, and when they go to Arkham and Calendar Man's really creepy and stuff like that. Take it easy, Dave. Bob had a good one, buddy. It's pretty good. The second part spends all of its time aggrandizing Catwoman, insulting and beating up on Batman, and then the ending is just.
I've got something to share from Adega. Something.
Okay. Okay.
Just if you can, if you could share that. To some, these puny creatures are legends, the story of their greatness inspiring others to greatness as well. Perhaps the time has come to strike at the core of the problem, to destroy the very concept of such legends. Then, perhaps humanity will become more compliant.
Thank you, Adega, for that. I appreciate it. That's from the miniseries Legends from the DC. It was called Legends. It was from the 80s. John Ostrander and John Byrne. That's John Byrne art. And that is very appropriate, Adega. Thank you. That's nice, man. That's fair. That's so true. Tear these characters down and humiliate them.
Yes.
And
make them unworthy of being superheroes.
Absolutely. And that's what Darkseid, it's interesting how Darkseid wants to do it. Well, that's what Marvel and DC Comics are doing. Now, some of these guys who work, some of these writers, like, for example, again, the people who did the Blue Beetle short, that came out of pure love for the character and love for nostalgic, old, fun cartoons. I was going into it expecting to see a bunch of deconstructionist crap. It has some subtle references to Ditko where they're kind of poking fun at him, but it was in good fun. And even still, you could see a tinge of it kind of, taking some swipes at him. But it was just pure fun. And the thing is, you had to know your stuff to write that cartoon. You have to be fully steeped in comic book lore or know someone who was to write that Blue Beetle short that's on the second Blu-ray of Batman, Catwoman, The Long Halloween Part 2. But that said, that's when I think of something like that and think of some of the same people who did this Batman, that tells me that what was done to Batman in here in Part 1 and 2 was not done out of ignorance. It was done out of malignance. And that's not a word, is it? Malice. Sorry.
Malice.
I'm an idiot. Sorry. I meant to say malice. It was malignant, though. And it was done on purpose.
Yes.
For the reasons that Adega rightly points out there. And that was a very cool thing to show us there because it's done to tear these characters down. And it's such a shame.
And replace them with someone that has that name, but is there the way they want them. Okay, we can't have Batman doing this, but we want a Batman that's we don't want Bruce Wayne as Batman. We want this black guy as Batman, but we also want him to have these ideals. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Batman go away and we're going to have him leave this kid, this black kid in charge to be Batman while he's gone. And that's exactly what they've done with Jonathan Kent. They're going to, you've got a gay Superman now. We can't make Superman gay. He's too iconic. People would flip the fuck out. But we're going to do it this way. We're going to make Jonathan Kent, who pretty much looks kind of like Superman, and we're going to have Superman leave him in charge of everything. And he's going to fly around Metropolis, sucking cock and kicking ass. Because that's what we want now.
And the thing is, it's deaf ears. No one's going to be buying that crap, but they don't care. They really don't. They get the jab in. And first, they get their little punch in at you, and that's all they care about. They don't care that they're just punching in the wind because no one who cares about these characters is reading their stupid comics anymore. But with something like this movie, some people who don't read any of their shitty comics anymore might buy this thinking it looks kind of like that old cool comic they have adapted. That was a pretty good comic, and then they see this crap, and this almost does more damage than the regular shitty comics in a sense. Dr. Hercumonkey, good to see you there, buddy. Phantom Outsider nails it right here. Again, another thing about Thomas Wayne Actually, Thomas Wayne stopped hoods at a masquerade ball while dressed as a bat. And Lou Moxon, of course, who hired Joe Chill, got arrested and he hires Chill. Exactly. But these people, they have to know they just don't care.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. And to them, it doesn't matter. To them, none of what you just talked about matters. None of that matters. None of that is relevant. Only the way they want to tell the tale is relevant.
Absolutely. Arwen Avalon, good to see you, beautiful lady. Yeah, that's right, man. And it's tough to it would be nice to just be able to watch this thing and judge it on its own merits. Is it good? Is it not good? This is, after watching that horrible What If episode last week, which was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in a long, long time, including worse than this garbage, and that's bad. I don't know if you watched that horrible stuff. You have not?
The What Ifs, I don't want anything to do. Yeah,
the second episode is one of the worst things I've ever seen, and I don't know how long, and even worse than this. And that's why just a day later, I got to watch that Blue Beetle cartoon, and I loved it so much. And I'm like, wow, contrast that horrible What If, which was written by people, and a lot of those people at Marvel that are writing these Marvel shows for Disney Plus have admitted they don't read comic books. It's not like I'm speculating; they say it. But I read here. This may be more nefarious in a sense. I watched that Beetle cartoon, and I go, "There's no way." And that whoever wrote this didn't know what they were doing and referencing. You can't write that way and not have a deep understanding or have talked to someone anyway. I'm not sure which of these characters from that era, and it was a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed seeing that. Maybe I got so caught up in the moment. Like I said, I tweeted about it, and the producer of the show said that's when he said the words after I said the contrast of that with that What If. And I was so excited. He wrote, that's what I'm saying. He wrote that. And if you look at his profile, I'm not trying to single him out, Mr. Jim Krieg. I appreciate you. I'm saying that he wrote that, and he wrote for one of my favorite cartoons, Green Lantern, the animated series, which I thought got canceled too soon. And he's one of the producers on this thing. And I'm not knocking him. I'm just scratching my head because the people who were doing these What If things, at least they admit they never read comics and don't give a shit. I can almost respect it more if you say I'm not a fan of that stuff and I don't give a shit, than someone who knows enough to write that Blue Beetle cartoon but allows this Batman Long Halloween thing to be done. I'm in a quandary over that, I must admit. Adega Outlaw says, let's see here, superheroes are set as high unobtainable standard, set as a high obtainable standard, so that people will stretch to mimic and adore those qualities. Without high standards, there will be no standards at all in the end. And that's exactly right. See, that's why idiots like Hack Snyder, for example, don't understand or respect, or David S. Goyer or any of these people, don't understand Superman being the biggest one. They don't understand that he is an ideal and he's an icon. And he's not, they just think he's a guy with a costume with superpowers, but he's like everybody else, and that's the way they quote unquote write him, and that's why his Man of Steel and everything in the Snyderverse is trash, because they don't understand the character.
Instead of being handed a history of a character to study, they have been handed flashcards. That's the way I look at it. You hand someone a flashcard and said, "Oh, look, these are the powers you have. This is what he's always said he stood for. This happened once. One or two things happened in a couple of different cards, and that's pretty much what they've given them. Here's some ideas. This is what the character is kind of about. But you don't have to really study anything. It's just like getting flashcards to pass a test when you have no idea about the substance of that test." You have no idea the substance of the character. You've gotten trivial information that anybody could look up and look at. You don't have any substance of where that person came from, what their real motivation is, what drives them, their history. You don't get any of that. You just get, oh, these are the superpowers they have. This is what he wears. This is where he's from. Here you go.
Yep, that's exactly right. By the way, Dadman Walking 55. Did I hear right? He says, did I correctly? There's a Green Lantern the animated series, and yes, is it worth watching? Never got. It's done in the. It's I love it. It was just only 26 episodes, in fact, from 2011. It's on the. I don't know if you have the HBO Max or whatever, but it's on there. It's it was really good. It's done in the 2D. The 3D animated style, not your traditional animation, which can be a little tough to get used to for some people, but even for me at the time. But I love it anyway. I thought it was really good. And also, there are two. We're talking tonight about DC animated films. Along the lines of Long Halloween, there are two Green Lantern DC animated films, especially Green Lantern Emerald Knights, which I think is terrific. First Flight kind of grew on me. It's okay. Let's see. Is it worth watching? Never got enough. Well, I love Green Lantern, and I think if you are a Green Lantern fan, you should see both of those. You have don't you have one of those sets that has all the DC animated films?
Yes, I got the Batman Anniversary Edition. I got the Superman Anniversary Edition. There's only a couple that I'm missing that don't have something directly to do with Superman or Batman.
Okay, that's right. So wait a minute. They have all the Superman was and all the Batman. They didn't have all the other ones they did, right?
No, just Superman, Batman, some
okay.
team-ups. I got the entire Batman animated series, the Batman Beyond series, and all the Batman and Superman movies is what I've got. I don't have the Superman series. They haven't come out with that on Blu-ray. If they do come out with the Superman series, animated series, I will buy it.
They're doing a remastered right now.
Well, I will buy it, and I will buy the Justice League one if it comes out on Blu-ray. But I'm not going to go back and collect all the DVDs when I want them on Blu-ray. So I know what I will be getting them on. I will be getting them on Blu-ray.
Hopefully they'll do a remastered of the Justice League as well. See, that remastered Batman the Animated Series looks pretty good. It's just so expensive. I haven't been able to get it yet. I'm waiting for it to go down, but when I will get that, and it's good that they're doing Superman. You know what happened to me with that Superman animated series? I did not like it at first. I don't like wimpy, too depowered Superman aggravates me to the point where he was an invalid on that show. So for many years, I made fun of it. I love Batman animated series. I eventually really warmed up to the Justice League animated show, which I love. The Superman one, I kind of watched it a little bit. I did not like it. It was too much. He was even weaker than Burns Superman. He got his ass handed to him all the time. I had a lot of problems with it. So about 3-4 years ago, I just went and did with my friend Flash and Matt, we did this deep dive on it. They were trying to talk me into giving it another shot. And I watched it all so we could do a show where we reviewed it and talked about the whole thing and pick our favorite episodes or whatever. And I maybe time changed things a little bit. I really do like that show now. I watched it all. And again, and went really, deep into it and thought it was, yes, I still have some issues with some of the ways they make Superman too much of a wimp, because you could make him he gets his ass handed to him too much in that show, but it was a good show and I love it.
Can I respond to a comment real quick?
Please do.
Ethan Burkholder says, Loki, my young nephews do not care about character or story. They like hurt people, mock people. They like to hurt people and mock people.
You mean they like to hurt and mock people, or they like to see that in their entertainment?
They like to see their yeah. That's what I'm asking. That sucks.
Yeah, that's a shame. Now I think I could say I'm not exactly sure what you're saying there, Eastland, but I do know that unfortunately, and this is of course you can't paint with a broad brush and accuse all people of the current generations, but there are a lot of people that I think they just like to see carnage and destruction, and they just like to see mindless violence and just ugly, repugnant, like dystopian crap where there's no hope and there are no good guys, and they like people, just seeing the ugly stuff, and they don't like to see inspirational heroes. If that's anywhere close to what you're talking about, I don't know, but that's kind of what I take from it a little bit, and that's a shame. That's what you get when you got your Snyder cultists are like that. They just want to see. I remember, Loki. I remember before the Filthy Man of Steel came out, I saw people who were right when it was building up to when it came out, because I got a lot of hatred from people. I saw a lot of fanboys who were chomping at the bit to watch it, and I swear I saw this more than one time. All I want to do is I only see Superman punch something. That's all you want? All you want to see him is punch something.
That's nothing
that's
of what
great.
he can do. That's like nothing.
And look, I want to see him fight, have a super fight just like anyone else does. But just I want to see him punch and kick ass, and it's like, yeah, you don't understand the character. Sure, a battle with a Grundy or a battle with someone like that's fine, but you could see the mentality we're talking about here.
It's that's nothing compared to what Superman has done. Superman punching something and hitting something is not what Superman is about. None of that matters. Even when he fought Doomsday to the death, I might add, it wasn't about him punching something. It was about saving as many lives as possible. And the reason why he did what he did and he gave his life fighting was to save as many people as he possibly could from a killing machine that was going to kill him, that had put half the Justice League in the hospital, that he knew, I'm the only one here who can take care of this thing. I've got to let it all out, and I've got to give it everything I've got. I can't hold back in any way, shape, or form. That's why I love that comic. It's not about, oh, Superman's doing things Superman's never done before. It is about, I'm gonna give it everything, and I'm gonna use the last bit of what I've got to stop this thing before he kills everyone on this planet that I call home.
Well, yeah, and look, you do. I don't think they were coming at it from the standpoint of just wanting to see Superman have a big superhero fight. We all like that, but and that's why you make a Doomsday, or you make a character, that's strong enough to slug it out with Superman. That's all fine and good. But if that's all they cared about, and they didn't want to, his ideals shine through first. That's what Superman is to me. Superman is ideals. And
yes,
Catman says here, I got to be a great story. It's got to be a great story for me that truly hits the soul, and more than one way, in order for me to truly get into a movie and cartoon. I'm right there with you, D.D. Myers. Thank you for being here, by the way. Basically, as long as there's a great story to tell, well, there you go. I will be in. Well, I hear you there.
You know what sealed the deal for me with Batman the Animated Series? It wasn't even the series itself. It was the movie. The Chucky Sawyer, Angel of Death Awaits.
Oh, Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm.
The greatest Batman movie ever made, in my opinion.
That movie etched Batman the Animated Series into my soul, because it had everything. It had mystery, it had suspense, it had feeling. When he's talking to his parents and he's like, but I'm in love. I know I said I was going to do all this stuff, but I love this woman and I want to be happy. And then she leaves and he's like, fuck it. And he puts on the mask and Alfred's like, oh, good Lord. I love that scene. It almost didn't happen because of this redhead. It almost didn't happen because he got to be happy. And then he realized, happy relationship, not for me. I am this, and this is what I will be. And nothing's going to ever change that. And that carried that all the way into Batman Beyond for me. That is why Batman the Animated Series will always be my favorite animated series, because of that movie. Just because of that movie. It was like something I watched when I was a kid, but it was that movie. Going to see that movie in the theater that really hit home. This is something really special that I'm always going to care about.
I saw it. It didn't play long in the theater, but when it played in the theater, I loved it so much. I saw it a couple of times. Went to see it. Of course, I was already in love with the animated series, and that movie is just fantastic. I mean, what's that? Was it? Dad Man said, "What's that?"
I had to bug my dad for weeks to go see it, because I ain't taking no see no damn cartoon at the movies. I did the same shit with Transformers, the movies. I want another one. Going to be like that Transformers. Everybody walked out. I'm like, no, it's Batman.
I took my kids to see it a couple times. That's for sure. Dad Man says, "Holy crap, Clobby, you've just expanded my watch list beyond Buck Rogers." I love Buck Rogers and ST Next Gen. I'm okay with this GL animation, but it's got my attention right at the start. Big. Well, good. Oh, you see, looking at it. Okay, yeah, I love that animated. That Greenland animated cartoon. It's a crime it only lasted 26 episodes. Makes me sad. Arwen says, when the IPs are focusing more on ego than higher ideals, I'm not surprised that's what younger people are getting used to. Good point. Absolutely good point, Arwen. And yes, please, everyone, please subscribe to the Great Stu Loki's channel if you have not. Everyone here probably has, but in case you haven't, please do that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so very much.
Catman, Clobby, it's a pleasure and honor to be here with you. Thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you, Dee Dee Myers. We appreciate you, buddy. We appreciate you. I've not seen this gentleman before, so welcome to a new arrival, Oliver Belmonte. It is a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here.
Oliver.
Welcome, Oliver. Hello, sir. You think Marvel Studios is getting carried away, hype releasing Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home this year? Carried away? I don't know. That's all they've got. I think they're just kind of reaching for things. I think they're going to have some serious disappointments on their hands, especially with Eternals, then even to a lesser degree Shang-Chi. Spider-Man might be...
Marvel's not getting paid a big paycheck for No Way Home. That it will be Sony. Sony Pictures will be getting paid the big paycheck.
Right.
Marvel Studios will not be getting paid a big paycheck. It's not like they're going to be bringing home the bacon for Disney.
Right.
This money is going to go to Sony.
And Spider-Man's probably the only one that has a chance to do well, to be honest. Yeah, Stephen Thompson, I know I'm probably going to go pick that up tomorrow. Wow, I'm going to buy a new comic. We'll rush off the presses. Superman 78 came out. I did see bits. I haven't picked it up yet, but I see that. So, wow. Yeah,
I had that ordered from Amazon. I'm going to have to check on my order.
Now, I hear Batman 89 wasn't that good. I'll probably just pick it up for the hell of it. But that Spider-Man trailer, I mean, who knows? I'm not going to get too excited about it. I like Sam Raimi can at least may be able to make an entertaining film. Brett Cohen, good to see you, Brett Cohen. Thank you, and thank you for the $2 super sticker. We appreciate it. I can't tell what kind of sticker it is from where I'm sitting. I'm not sure how you do that because I'm a rookie with telling what super stickers look like. But I do thank you for that. Appreciate you. I don't know if any of we might. I don't know for sure, Loki. We might be the only ones here who even watched these long Halloween. I don't know if any of our friends in the chat have even watched it. Of course, we spoiled it for them, so you don't have to.
We didn't tell them who the killer was, who Holiday was.
Yeah. Well, Batman sure didn't know.
No, Batman didn't know. And
I mean,
you don't.
No, he did eventually, but
after that, you don't even want to know what happened after that. That was oh well, I can't put you in jail, so I guess
that was so
get away
stupid.
with it.
That was absolutely Arwen. Love you, by the way. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. You have a good night.
Thank you, Arwen. Have a great one, Arwen.
Wasn't that nice. Yeah, well, hey, it's okay. You killed a bunch of criminals. I mean, it was so futile. Phantom Outsider says the only problem I had with Superman v Doomsday was I read Avengers 166 where Cap gave Wonder Man his shield to help him fight Nefaria. That was great, by the way. Guy should have gave Soups his ring. Oh, Guy Gardner. Oh, I think you mean. Here's someone, also another new person on Loki that I have never seen before. V Infuso. Hello there. Well, to be fair, Batman's not that good of a detective, according to the movie. Yeah, well, we were talking about that earlier. That's my biggest of all of my many complaints, especially about part one, the degradation of Batman and them forgetting that he first appeared in something called Detective Comics number 27. But no, he's not a detective.
No, he's not.
Well, look, let's be fair. He sure isn't in this damn thing. I mean, yeah, they're not wrong in the sense that they're wrong in the real character, but their Batman sure as hell ain't no detective.
No. He's
just a clod. An absolute
It's really
dope.
Disappointing, too. It's very, very disappointing.
Yes. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about him being that the world's greatest detective. On the animated series, they highlighted that. They haven't done it in movies that much, hardly at all. But then again, the movies, even the better ones, and let's face it, I'm not that big into the live action Batman stuff. Some of it's okay. I'm one of those. I guess I'm a Batman snob when it comes to to the character himself. And when I see a live action movie, like even the Nolan ones, a lot of normies like those. They're okay, except for the Dark Knight Retires, which I hate. I kind of call them Batman for Dummies, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is Batman for Dummies.
This is Batman for Dummies. This is for Batman people that don't know Batman. Do you think they did this, that they did this on purpose?
Yes.
That they we're going to bring you in with the carrot and make you think this is great, and then we're going to give you the stick on episode 2.
Yep. I mean, well, like I said, I remember I've been saying a couple times tonight that I don't think this was out of ignorance.
No.
I think this was out about degrading Batman and up and making the show, like I say, that should be called Catwoman: The Long Halloween.
Yes.
V says, I think they did that to show that this is an inexperienced Batman. This is him in his early years while he did the table. You know, that might fly if all of his villains hadn't been established already, and therefore he'd been stopped all these other villains, plus the fact V, it's one thing to have him make mistakes like in Batman Year One, like he did. But in this, he actually says the line in the first one. When I started this, I never thought I'd have to be a detective. And as I said, that is a horrible bullshit line. And that's what I'm saying is, if you don't have that line and you just have Batman make mistakes and be fallible, that's fine. Batman can make mistakes. Batman can be baffled sometimes. He's the world's greatest detective. If you're going to show him at an early stage, all that would be one thing. That's characterization and character development. That's not what happened here. No. They had him actually say words that are antithetical to the character's foundation and base, which is he is a detective, a crime fighter who trained his body and his mind. He didn't just work out and become, learn martial arts and all this crap just to go out and fight people. He became a detective. I love Matt Murdock. I love Daredevil. Daredevil he's an attorney, so he's a smart guy, but he basically learned how to fight and be an acrobat to become Daredevil. He didn't train all of his life to be a detective, but he had some of the law training, so that was kind of similar. But Daredevil never really did detective work, but Batman always did. And so that's why this is antithetical to the character of Batman. They went out of their way to portray him not just as a dummy, but to even admit that he doesn't have a clue about being a detective. And then they, in the second part, had him shit right in front of his face that he didn't know. Inexperience is one thing. That's not what we had here. This was willful. I'm going to use the term. I'm not going to use the R word. There's a term in literature called characterization. Well, rhymes with grape. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Loki, but that's actually a term. Characterization. You know what word I'm playing around, the word R word that rhymes with grape. Well, there's a line. I mean, people call characterization grape. That's what this is. That's what Man of Steel is. Yeah. That's what this is.
Batman at his heart is a detective. It is what makes him who he is. Daredevil is all about the law. That is why Daredevil does not kill. Right. That is why Daredevil has that anti-kill rule. It doesn't matter whether it's a gun, whether it's anything. Batman has killed before, but it's not Batman's rule not to kill. It's Batman's rule not to use guns.
He doesn't kill. No, well, but Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm does have a line that I adhere to, even though it's been trespassed by some writers. When Jim Gordon himself is defending Batman when they're trying to, he says the Batman does not kill. Period. And see, that's the thing that I think this whole thing about do superheroes kill or not kill. Superman made a rule for himself later. And people always say, in the early comic books Batman carried a gun. Batman had a gun in some of those early comic books and even killed before he had an origin, by the way. Before his origin was added. He did do that. He was more like a rip of the Shadow and some different things. Superman, Captain Marvel, they killed people. This was the crude beginnings of superheroes when they knew nothing, and nothing was ratified into law through Congress or anything, but it just became kind of established after a number of years that, if a guy has superpowers or super abilities like Batman in his case that operates outside of the law, they don't have they can help the law and help fight crime, but they can't be judge, jury, and executioner, a la Judge Dredd or something. So they need to play by special rules and go, we're going to help, but we don't get to just because we help, we don't get to decide what happens. We just bring them in. And that was kind of later when superheroes became more the norm. That was kind of, now Captain America doesn't count because he's a soldier, but that's what it was kind of established later when they said, you know what, someone with superpowers already has a lot of advantage going for them. Let's have them make some rules for themselves where they don't kill, at least intentionally. It can happen. And Superman made a rule so much. He said, Superman will not kill, period.
Why do you think Steve Rogers became Captain America and they didn't have some other guy do it? Because Steve had the character. Steve had the drive. Steve had the ambition. He just didn't have the means to do it himself. And once they gave him that cure, all of his ideals stayed the same, even more so. Some of those ideals intensified of we protect the weak. We don't let bad shit happen. We don't allow these things to go on. We do everything we can to go out of our way to protect people. We have to be better than everybody else. And that is what made Steve Rogers Captain America. It wasn't the super soldier serum. It was who Steve was.
Yes. And in the war, he would kill. When he came back as an Avenger and as a superhero, he would not, because he didn't have the right. A war's different. And, the thing with the KGB's Phantom Outsider, but the thing is, I'm not saying the rules haven't been broken by certain writers. They have. Like people always used to like to say when you say that Superman or Batman or whoever doesn't kill, or the Fantastic Four doesn't kill, or whoever, people go, well, they did it. They'll some issue where it happened. Oh yeah, some writers break the rules sometimes. In fact, and then some editors, when John Byrne did it with Superman to Zod or whatever, DC decided, oh, that's not good. We don't like that. When they changed it, and they backed up on it. So they said, yeah, no. In the greatest Superman story ever told, in my opinion, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, Alan Moore knew he was writing the very end of Superman of the Golden, Silver, Bronze Age eras, right? So he knew that was it. They were about to change Superman to super yuppie, in my opinion. I didn't like the Byrne reboot. And so at the end of that one, Mxyzptlk is so powerful and evil. He's unstoppable. Superman willfully murders him and then pays the price. He steps into the gold kryptonite chamber to take. He says, and he's telling Lois is saying, but you had no choice. He said, there's always a choice, Lois. She said, but he would have destroyed everything. He said, no one has the right to kill Lois, not you, not Mxyzptlk, and not Superman. And he says the words, especially not Superman. Superman believed it went triple, quadruple for him because of his power. And that's why he, decided to punish himself and walk into the gold kryptonite chamber. Now, Moore was able to do that because that Superman was leaving us and we were getting a rebooted one, unfortunately, in my opinion. Not to everyone else seemed to love it. But that's Superman sticking to his ideals. And that's important to me with superheroes. It really is, because I look up to them. Yes, they're fake, they're phony, and they're childish power fantasies, and they're all these things.
Well, they are our modern, to me anyway.
Myths.
I see them as our modern stories. These are our Olympians, ladies and gentlemen. These are the Olympians we look to, where the Greece had Hercules and all of these characters, and Zeus and Hera and all these gods. These are our mythologies that we have created. Superman, Batman, the Flash.
Absolutely. And then, by the way, if you start letting every superhero kill, then I'm not a big Punisher guy personally. But then you take it away. What's the good is the Punisher if Batman's killing? Because that's kind of differentiates him from the others. He's a guy with a gun, whereas Batman is not using a gun, and he doesn't think he has the right to kill, whereas Punisher thinks he does. So, and of course, you've got the Spectre. If you ever read any of those, who kills, but he thinks he's the wrath of God. He has judgment. So, and he is. So, I don't know if you ever read any of those, by the way. But, This thing was so disappointing in the second part, man. If you take out that crap in the first one, it's a fairly entertaining thing. And to come along, it's a shame that the woke crap got in the way, but if you take out the woke crap in this one, it's kind of just a blasé ending in and of itself. Even if I can't separate it from that, I'm not separating that because it's there. But even if it weren't there, the second part's just really not particularly compelling at all.
It's not. It's not. They ruined the first part of this movie. They ruined part one by doing part two, and we've seen that before. We've seen it before in different IPs. They get you interested in something, and then they flip it on you, and they go down this rabbit hole of woke bullshit, and this is what you get.
That's Phantom Outsider. I beg to differ, sir. He said he did it on purpose. If go read that comic, he killed Mitch Spitalik on purpose because he had to. He tricked him with the Phantom Zone projector, but he did it on purpose. And I love that comic. And then he punished himself for it, but he did it on purpose, man. He killed him because he had to. But yeah, that's absolutely right, dude. It's just a shame. And the film before these two parts, the Justice Society one, did you see that one?
No, I did not.
I watched that one. That one, I love the short on there, the Commandy short by Jack Kirby's Commandy. Oh, it was pure Kirby and loves it. That was one where, it actually had way less of the kind of the woke. There's woke stuff there. It was kind of some trappings. But hey, okay, Punk Waddle, have a good one. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Take it easy, Punk Waddle.
But if you take it as an Elseworld story, it was not that bad. Wonder Woman's kind of it starts out she's kind of a domineering type of a biatch.
Yeah.
But they actually do write her fairly well going forward as the story advances. And it's actually I don't know if you ever a chance to watch it for free, watch it and let me know what you think of it. But I thought it was again, as an Elseworlds, as a Justice Society purist, it took a lot of getting used to because I hate the way they handle the roster. I hate a lot of things about it, but it does work if you just because there's the thing. Elseworlds, you can get just like What Ifs, you can get away with a few things if you have a good story.
As long as you've got that story, and as long as you care about the characters you're writing about, yes.
Yeah, because it's a what if. It's kind of DC's version of a what if type thing, which is fine. And if you're not completely I hate the evil Superman trope. I hate because when you do that, even in an Elseworld, you're concluding that just a little bitty tiny thing would make Superman go evil. Hate it. Now, when you find I even hate it when there's a good reason for it. That's just me. I don't like. In other words, if you find a credible reason for it, like if I don't care if it's red kryptonite or somehow, some way, some alien influence or whatever has Superman go evil. I'm not because you can do any kind of archetype story, like as far as that's concerned, and tell a story about a superpower being used like Superman, but a knockoff that's evil, and I'm fine. I hate doing it with Superman. Like this, what is this Injustice thing that everyone loves so much because it's a video game where, what is it? Joker kills Lois Lane or some shit, right?
What happens is Joker. It's not just it was a comic too, and I've got those. Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois.
Okay.
He uses a special. It's like a mix between his laughing gas, Scarecrow spear toxin, and kryptonite gas. So it's all three of those combined, and it makes Superman think Lois is Doomsday. He grabs Doomsday, flies him up into the atmosphere, and is like, "I've got to get him up out of the earth and get him away from the sun and all this shit." And then he realizes he's killed Lois and his unborn child. It's
Yeah,
not
I
just
hate that
one
stuff.
heartbeat that stops. It's
Okay.
two.
That's what I thought. I
So
wasn't
he
sure.
flies back down. He flies back down to Earth and rips Joker's heart out.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, the people revel in that kind of disgusting shit to me. Again, I understand people, like it when you do that to Superman, and you don't have a credible reason for him going off the deep end, no matter how horrible what happens, no matter how angry he is. I can't deal with it. I don't like it. Now, see, Kingdom Come, Wade's an idiot, but that was the way, knowing the Superman I love can be fallible, even Superman, right? That is more along the lines as the way Superman would. I don't know if you've read Kingdom Come. If we've talked about that. I don't know.
Yes.
What he does in that, for those who don't know, is Joker kills like 90 some odd people in the Daily Planet, including Lois Lane, and Superman nabs him and brings him in, doesn't kill him. And Magog, at this more violent type of quote unquote hero at the time, shows up and just shoots the Joker, blasts him with his rod, then kills him in front of Superman. And Superman, of course, kicked his ass, even though he's obviously killed the woman he loved. Superman still believed that he had to follow his own rules, no matter how much it hurt. And then Magog, later challenged Superman to a big fight. Who's going to be the big superhero now. So Superman just quit for 10 years.
Yep. He went to the fortress and quit.
Yep. And then
ends up with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, later. But then what draws him back out was all these super beings are overrunning the planet, and they're not superheroes. They're punks with superpowers, all these different and, finally the Justice Battalion, because they're brutal, led by Magog, chases the Parasite into Kansas, and Parasite accidentally splits Captain Atom open, and it nukes half of Kansas. And that's what draws Superman back out. He was wrong to quit. Even more wrong to have his ponytail. Yes. I remember Alex Ross was pissed that he had to draw that stupid ponytail. They made him do it. He said he'll never do it again. So, he cuts it, and he goes back into action. And I actually love that comic, and I love the scene where he goes to the superhero bar, right, where all the not heroes, the superpowered jerks who they have all these gang wars and there's fights, and they're superpowered jackasses. So they're not really. They're a bunch of kids. Most of them are younger than him, because most of the big guys have left, but a few of them are still around. But Superman's the big cheese, And he goes into that bar, and he's talking about them. They're all acting like a bunch of hooligans and crap. And he comes in and he gives them a lecture. He says heroes act in a certain way. This is not it. And he basically lays down the law. Now, again, this is why the story is better than him just turning evil. It's Superman going a little bit authoritarian, but he does learn the lesson. But he gets pretty pissed off about what happened to Kansas, and he tells them all, you're going to straighten up right now or you will be dealt with. And he leaves them with the words, be heroes. Tells them, be heroes. You have superpowers. You have responsibilities. Be heroes. And, of course, Batman's arranging his own little group. Why can't we wouldn't it be great? We're talking about these animated films. Wouldn't it be great to see an animated version of that looks like the Alex Ross art, and they don't change a friggin' thing?
Yeah.
How cool would that be? 2 parts.
Yeah.
You know what they would do? Oh, God. Don't do it. Hey, DC Animation, please, I changed my mind. Don't do it. Because you know what they would do? And here's the worst part, dude. They would probably make it look really like this animated here. This one looks really good. It doesn't look exactly like the Tim Sale art, but it looks pretty cool. The animated Long Halloween. They would make it look close to the Alex Ross look. We would go, oh, it looks so cool. And then they would let's see, Wonder Woman, who, by the way, is a badass in this thing already. She would be running the show, and Superman would be a little bitch.
Yeah. And
she's tough as nails in this thing. And she even, she's even critical of him and Batman. Batman fights her. I mean, he's pissed off about, they have the big war. They create a gulag where they start sticking superpower people in a gulag. It's a great story.
Which we've seen on both sides of the Marvel and DC fence.
Yeah.
Civil War did that too.
God, I hated Civil War. But yeah, and that wasn't an Elseworld either. Should have been an Elseworlds. But imagine how good that could be. But could you imagine what they would do to that though?
You can't have a strong male figure that makes sense.
Superman and Batman will be a bunch of jerk offs.
Yeah, emotional wrecks or toxic males or whatever. While you've got a hyper masculine female is a word I learned the other day. Hyper masculine femininity. Do you know what femininity is? Femininity is feminine. It is for females. Hyper masculine femininity.
Yes.
Tell me that makes any sense whatsoever.
Hurts my brain. It's just, I'm telling you, I'm calling it, folks. They make Kingdom Come, and it's all about Wonder Woman. It's a Superman. Well, it's a DC story, but Superman and Batman are the two men. Let's see. It'll be about Wonder Woman. Watch, I guess, Catwoman, who's not even in it.
I've got to take care of the world while you boys throw tantrums.
Yes,
it'll be
right. It'll be Wonder Woman and what? Let's see. Who? You know how Batman and Superman are opposed to each other in this one, and they both make their own gangs. Let's see. In this case, Wonder Woman will be in charge of the Justice League instead of Superman, and she'll give the speech to be heroes. Stop being toxic males, you jerk offs.
That's right.
And let's see who will be running the Batman side.
I was just thinking that Batwoman,
Black Canary.
Yeah.
Well, whoever. Let's see who was in Batman's team. Yeah, one of them. That's right. There you go. Kate Kane would be there, and old Bruce Wayne would be just a dumb old fart, who doesn't know shit. And Batman and Superman will be a couple of old white idiot jerk offs.
Harley and the Joker gang will be working for Batman.
We just wrote it for him, dude.
Yep.
I wish
Harley works for him in Injustice. Harley works for Batman.
Yep, that's exactly what would happen. But imagine how good it could be if they just adapted it right. Because right now you have this Batman Halloween two-parter. You have Superman Red Sun, which I've not seen. Everyone who has read that comic, and it was a pretty good comic. Again, horrible. Everyone said that was horrible. There you go. It was bad, huh?
Socialism good, capitalism bad.
Oh my God, that wasn't in the comic.
Oh well, that's the way it is. Socialism is good. A socialist Superman is what the world needs, not a capitalist Superman. It's not truth, justice, in the American way. That's fucking horrible and can only end in tragedy. It's truth, justice, and the socialism way.
Of course. Well, then you've got Gotham by Gaslight, which we spoke about. They have they changed the ending. That's true, Phantom. We'll see. Wonder Woman would dress Superman down about cowering on his farm, and she did bust his ass about that in the but I mean, it would be she would constantly berate him and belittle him instead of course, fall in love with him like she did. Oh, she was already in love with him, but And that's the thing. She's good. She's great in Kingdom Come.
So instead of Superman and Wonder Woman, it'll be Kate Kane and Wonder Woman, and they'll be telling Bruce and Superman, we want y'all to be the baby's godparents.
Yep. At the end, that will be the guy.
Yeah. Tell me how that one's going to work. Yeah,
God, I want to vomit because it's going to happen.
We went to the doctor and we got our eggs conjoined, and that's going to make a baby. Because we can do that. It's the future, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, it's the future.
An egg and an egg can make a baby.
Right. Jesus Christ, we just wrote this shitty movie for him. Gotham by Gaslight changed the ending on that one. Let's see, what was another one? I thought they did it okay. I've never been the biggest, kind of a confession. I've never been the biggest fan of Miller's Dark Knight Returns. It's okay. I mean, I have some issues with it, right? But that two-parter I thought was okay.
What do you think about Batman Ninja?
I don't think I've seen that one.
You should check it out. Watch it in the original Japanese. Don't watch it in English.
Oh, okay. That's new. Is that relatively recent?
It was 2018. I really liked it. A lot of people didn't like it, but you got to understand that it's like they're merging Batman with the Japanese anime, so it's going to be insanely over the top, crazy shit.
Okay, I didn't like Gotham Knights that much, but this one I would watch. There you go. And then there's, I like that first Wonder Woman when they did.
You got Batman Hush. I heard that was horrible. I didn't
Yeah,
love it.
I didn't bother that one either because I never like, I never liked that. I never read that comic. I didn't like that comic book. But again, but I've heard that one's. I've heard people who are fans of that one thought that was badly done. Let's see here. What is another adaptation there? Batman Year One. They did. I think they did a pretty decent job on, and it looked like the art in the comic. I thought that was okay. In other words, I don't think they screwed around with much.
No. Death in the Family, I have yet to watch.
Me too.
I have not opened it and fucking watched it yet.
Isn't that the interactive one?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet. I've got it. I've got the Deathstroke movie too. That was good. I like the Deathstroke movie.
I haven't seen that one. I have to watch that one.
That when we saw the preview for that when we did the DC fandom event last year. And so I made a point of watching it. I bought it. I liked it that much. I liked it enough that I bought it to watch it again.
Have you seen Justice League New Frontier?
No, I have not.
I highly recommend it. I love that one. Now, there was one thing in it, but since you hadn't seen it, I won't say anything, that really, really pissed me off bad. And yet, this is, to me, by the way, that's not a bad review. A testament. When I could have something in something that I hate, it aggravates me, like, for example, like this thing with the detective crap we were talking about with Batman Long Halloween Part 1, and still love something, that means I must have really loved it. And I loved New Frontier.
Yeah.
I also, have you seen Justice League Doom?
Yes.
I love that one.
Yes.
That was
the Batman Superman team ups. I absolutely love. I love the movies where you've got Batman and Superman when they are what is it? Public Enemy. Public Enemy. I fucking love Public Enemy because there is a scene where Batman and Superman are fighting all those enemies, and it's almost like Batman is doing moves with Superman. So it's like if you ever wanted to see if Batman and Superman ever did a superhero team up where they used each other to kick ass, this is what you want to see. The way they fight,
it was good.
The way Batman fights, the way he uses his cape, how they interact when they're fighting against the villains. It's like a tag team event with Batman and Superman.
That was a good one. And again, that was, see, I grew up, and again, this, you date yourself, but dude, when I grew up, Batman and Superman were best friends.
Yeah.
And that's what, and then for those who don't know, in the early 90s, somehow, before Frank Miller thought of it, for some reason, toward the end of the run of World's Finest, for almost 40 years, there was a comic book called, for around 40 years, there was a comic called World's Finest, in which Batman and Superman hung out with each other every month. And I loved it. Toward the end, the book kind of got, it was getting worn out. But somehow, for some reason, they ended it, and they decided making a lot more conflict between the two. But they moved toward the two different things: the Byrne reboot, which I hate, and Frank Miller's Dark Knight. From then on, Batman and Superman became sort of adversarial in some ways that they never really were to me in my youth as a young comic book reader. So I've always kind of had a chip on my shoulder about the Batman Superman relationship for the most part, the way it's been handled. And so that Public Enemies, they're more like friends again. They become friendlier in the animated, in Justice League. I mean, they're friends at least again later. For a while there, they were not friends.
Yeah.
And I like my Batman and Superman to be, they could have their problems and their differences, but they're best buddies.
Yeah.
And they're best friends. And just like they kind of put it back sort of on the animated shows.
The reason why you've got the Holy Trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman is they pretty much made the Justice League. And in any other history where you've got, Barry Allen made the Justice, founding member of it. No, it's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Those are your OG Justice League superheroes.
Yep.
There's a reason why. Yes, Batman and Superman can argue. Everyone argues, but at the end of the day, they've got each other's backs, and they know that. Out of everyone, Kal-El has my back, and for Kal-El, it's Batman's got Bruce has got my back.
Yeah, I mean, they had I mean, they even did a pretty good job. And I agree with that, Stephen Thompson. I would like to see that Steve Rude World's Finest series adaptation. That would be nice. But I loved it even on the Justice League cartoon when Batman said, "The next time I let Superman tell us, make the call, hit me or something, will you?" I tell Wonder Woman that. Just the next time I let Superman just because he used to get him in trouble and all this stuff. So I mean they had an adversarial relationship when they finally teamed up. In that World's Finest one there was a crossover on the Batman on the Superman Batman animated show from the late '90s. I mean, like a little movie of it. Yes, they were at odds, but they worked together and they still became friends.
Yeah,
and they should be friends and not enemies. And let's see another one of those. All right, folks. I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll start closing out, but I'm going to recommend some good, like we've been doing here, some good DC animated films because Batman: The Long Halloween and Catwoman: The Long Halloween Part 2. Look, at your own risk. I'd say watch them for free or something like that. Now again, I highly recommend if you can find that Blue Beetle short because it's worth it. I love it. The Commandy short from the JSA cartoon was also excellent. So, and by the way, some of those shorts, there are a couple I haven't seen, Loki, because they were on some of those movies I didn't want to watch.
What was the Justice League movie where basically they get into the Bat computer and Batman's got all of these plans to kill the Justice League?
That was Justice League Doom, and I love that.
That was Doom. Okay, that was Doom. That's what I thought it was. Then that's the one I love too, because you find out it's like, what do you mean? You've got files on all of us? Oh yeah, and I know exactly how to kill each and every single one of you, because if any of you ever turned evil, I'm ready for it.
Yep, and that was taken from a comic. That was another one that was adapted from a comic.
Yes.
Did you ever see Superman versus the Elite?
Yes, I've got. Yeah, that's.
I love that one. Oh, there you go. I love that one. So everyone, I recommend Superman versus the Elite. If you want to see a story that really showcases what Superman is all about as an icon, as an inspirational character, Superman versus the Elite is a great story based on I think a Joe Kelly story called "What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way." And okay, let's see another one that I recommend, and you can feel free to recommend something. Justice League New Frontier, everyone. Justice League Doom, like we've talked about. Also, Justice League Crisis on Two Worlds, or Two Earths. Is it Two Earths? Crisis on Two Earths. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yes.
Terrible Batman voice by Billy Baldwin, but James Woods is brilliant as Owlman. I like that one. I thought that one was really good. Let's see here. What's another one? Batman Under the Red Hood, we've mentioned. That's a great one. What's another one? Like you mentioned, Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Yes. Green Lantern, Emerald Knights, Green Lantern First Flight. Have you seen Emerald Knights?
Yes. Superman, Batman, Apocalypse is a
good
one.
There you go. Super kind of a
Klobby doesn't like how they dressed Supergirl, but
well, I don't remember. Do I? I think she looked pretty hot.
She's in that white. She's in that.
Is she in the white one? Yeah, I don't like the white. I forgot that. Okay, yeah, I don't like the white one. Right, but she's
later at the very end of the movie, they've got her in the skirt. They've got her in the skirt and all that. Yeah,
I haven't seen that one for a while. Okay, I got you. It's another really good one because I was very disappointed in in the Justice League Fatal 5 one, and I'm a Legion fanatic. That's kind of why. But there's again, Batman Year One's okay. I kind of like it. I think that's a two-parter.
Yeah,
and if you like Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, you could do a lot worse than to watch that two-parter. I think it was pretty good. I think they did okay.
I thought they kept to the book a lot more than they could have.
Right.
I liked what's his name playing Batman.
Yeah, Peter Weller.
Yes, Peter Weller playing Batman. I actually liked it. I didn't think I would. I wanted Conroy, but once I heard it, he's like, we're going to go and we're going to do this. I was like, okay, all right. I can.
He was pretty good.
I can dig it.
This is not a ditch. This is a operating table, and I'm the surgeon.
If you screw it up, you're fired. He keeps telling Carrie, "You screw this up, you're fired. You screw this up, you're done. If you mess this up, if you do anything I don't tell you to do, you're done." I
hate the way Superman was portrayed in that story. That's always aggravated me. But let's see. Miller did not like Superman.
No.
Let's see here. But what is another one? Superman. Now let's see. That's almost really there aren't a lot of them that I recommend, but the ones I do, I recommend quite highly. Of course, you can't go wrong with the animated series, Batman animated series, and then Superman series, and Justice League, of course, folks. But must be there are a couple other ones probably that I'm just drawing a blank on. But there aren't a lot I like. I got to admit that I'm picky. Look, I want my superheroes the way I want them, folks. Just the way I am. Sorry, it's the fanboy geek and me. I can't help it. When you stray too far from the way I want them, unless you find a good excuse like it's in Elseworlds or something like that.
Return of the Joker was good. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, especially. That unedited story of how that happened, because you didn't get that in the original. You didn't get that unedited story where you see what Joker did to him, and you see that fight between Batman and Joker, and you see him shoot Joker. You see him kill Joker. I was blown away when I got the Blu-ray of that, and I saw that, and I was like, holy shit, I used to have the VHS and the DVD, and it did not have that on there. So the first time I saw that on Blu-ray, I was like, holy shit, I am digging this.
Now, for pure fun, by the way, folks, the two Batman 66 animated films that they did, I remember seeing one. I think I saw the first one in the theater. I forget the subtitle. I mean, they're Batman. They were. I think Adam West and Burt Ward did the voices.
Yep.
I'm not mistaken. One of them has Shatner for the as Two-Face in the second one.
Shatner's Two-Face.
Right. Those are good fun. If you like the old Batman TV show, though, it's been a while since I've seen them. I'd like to get those again. I'd like to get those and watch them.
Too bad they couldn't get like Cesar Romero to come back.
They were all gone by then. They were all gone. But they got some.
Of course, Burgess Meredith passed away, and
some of the. It's been a long time now, but some of the voices for the villains, some of them did pretty good. Or if I remember right. So there's let's see. I'm trying to think. Well. There's some other good ones, but DC animated. And again, there's some ones I don't want to. We picked on this one enough, so I don't want to. But there's some other ones I personally will stay away from. I really despise that Superman Man of Tomorrow one they did about a year or so ago. The Justice Society one, if you get a chance to watch that one for free, anyone. As an Elseworld story, I didn't think it was too bad.
And stay away from the Death of Superman ones. All of those are fucked up.
Oh yes.
I don't know how you screw up that story, but DC, it's like after we did it, we just couldn't ever do it again. Well, three times if you count fucking Batman versus Superman, because they screwed that up too. The movie, the live action movie.
The closest they got was getting it right was the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah. The closest thing they got to doing it right was the Justice League cartoon. Everything else has been trash.
It's a shame. I don't know why they can't. I mean, and there's the thing about that. Look, a movie's one thing, but animation is the close cousin to comic books.
Yeah,
you can do. Look, I've said this before. If I'd make a deal with them, not that they care what my fat old ass says, but if I said, "Look, I tell you what, guys, I'll never whine about a live action movie again if you'll just throw me a bone every once in a while and adapt some great comic in an animated style that looks like that comic." And let me pick every now and then and just do it right, like you did with if you just had continued Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes past the 2 seasons. It was such a great show. The Justice League cartoon Justice League, then Justice League Unlimited. They were great. We only got those 4 seasons, and they weren't that long. We should need more of those. Would have been nice instead of what you did with that Fatal 5 thing. They got a comic book now that's kind of a continue, and they're already starting to kind of ruin that. Come on, guys, just step up. Do an FF cartoon that's really based on the old Kirby stuff. Do some cartoons, that are based upon the source material and that is faithful to it. And you could do whatever you want, you're silly at in your stupid live action movies. Fair? Yeah. Fair? Let's do that, guys. Come on, how about a deal? Yep. But they won't. Yep. Now they won't even do that, dude. Now we can't get animation without them doing something like they did with this. Now, again, as I've said, credit where credit's due. That Blue Beetle cartoon made me happy, and it was right on the heels of that horrible second episode of What If. And a big credit and a shout out to Mr. Jim Krieg for doing that. But I still have to be honest. It's nothing personal, but I have to be honest. I really, really despise the way this Long Halloween has been done. Just as I despise what's been done with all these Screw 52. And you know what, Loki? That because I'm so disenchanted with these movies, these animated movies, I've missed some of these shorts, which might be good. For example, as you know, I like that Blue Beetle one. The Losers one was okay. I love the Commandy one. Before that, it's been like 6-8 years or so since I've watched any of those. They're called DC Showcase. They're on these Blu-rays and the DVDs, right? I'll recommend if you can find them, folks. First, they did the Shazam, kind of a longer one called Superman, Shazam, Black Adam. That was an okay one.
Yeah, I've got that one.
Did you see the Spectre? The Spectre one's fantastic. It's a short one.
Yeah.
I forget what movie it was on. Jonah Hex.
I think so.
There was Jonah Hex. There was a Green Arrow one that was really good. There was a Catwoman one that was okay. I didn't think much of it. But then I found now, because I've been missing these movies, that there's about 3 or 4 or maybe more that I haven't seen. There's a Sergeant Rock one with the Creature Commandos in it. I want to see that.
Yeah.
There's a Death one. I'm not big into Death, but if you're a Sandman fan, that's for you. There's a Adam Strange one. I got to see that. There's a Phantom Stranger one. I want to see that. I'm not sure how many other ones there are. I would like to see all these things.
Yeah, all the shorts. It's almost akin to what they did with the Superman stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
All the little shorts they did.
Because sometimes, dude, some of these characters lend themselves to the shorter story. Batman's better with even though the first part of Long Halloween I like, it's kind of meandering at first. I mean, it's long. It's got the word long in it. So, whereas Batman animated series, you're in and out in 22 minutes or whatever. And you got any given episode, even the better ones, but even just an average one of Batman the animated series carries so much more with that 22 minutes or whatever it is than all this 4 hours of this crap that we just saw.
Yeah.
And it's 10 times better and it doesn't insult and humiliate the character. If you see where I'm coming from. But anyway, man, I tell you what, I appreciated hanging out with you tonight, brother.
Oh, brother, I love getting to hang out with you, Clobby. Guys, if you aren't subscribed to Clobby, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Why are you even listening to me talk about it? Smash that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you can catch all of Clobberin stuff, because he kicks ass, takes names, and takes babies' lollipops, too.
Thank you so much, bro, for being here. Thank you all. What a wonderful chat we've had tonight. It's nice to meet some of our new friends that popped in and all of our great old friends. Quick show note before we get out of here, folks. Again, as you all know, all this month is Jack Kirby month here on Clobberin Times. We've been celebrating the King of Comics. Every Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk, I have been talking about different aspects of the great King of Comics. And this Saturday, we're going to have no Global Geek Gang tomorrow. This Saturday, we're going to have a Jack Kirby. We're going to have a Clobberin Times double feature. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be Clobberin Times, my 900th episode. 200 on YouTube, 900 overall since I've been doing this for 12 plus years now. And since it will be the 104th birthday of the great Jack Kirby, the King of Comics, I will count down my top 104 Jack Kirby covers. And man,
Nice,
dude, picking these is killing me. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna do this before Saturday. And people would say, isn't that a lot? I think I was telling you that before, dude. He produced something like close to 100,000 pages of comics in his life. The next closest guy, I saw a chart on it one time. I can't remember where it was as far as producing comic book pages. The next closest to Kirby's output isn't even close. By thousands upon thousands, not even as close. And he was the most prolific comic artist ever, the greatest creator in all of comics history. And I will, I think the lovely Purple Valkyrie will be hanging out with me, folks.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
On a Saturday. And then, of course, as usual, Saturday night Star Trek. My wonderful first officer, Raquel, and I will be reviewing 4 more episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. For those who don't know, we're reviewing all of real Star Trek. We started in the very beginning of this year with the original series, then the animated series, the original crew films. We are now on Star Trek The Next Generation. We're just getting into season 2, and we'll have 4 episodes every week. We ended season 1 with 5 because it was an uneven thingy, but we're doing 4 a week when we can, so we have our brothers there. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Please come hang out with us if you're a Star Trek fan. If you haven't been here, what we do is we give you some background information on the episode. We review it. We rate it with an A, B, or C type of thing deal on a scale like that. And then I put the question to our wonderful chat and ask them for their opinion, their rating, and their comments. And we're interactive with our chat. We have a fantastic time with a great, great chat. And it's a lot of fun. If you're a Star Trek fan, what a crowd we got. We're getting bigger and bigger crowds on Saturday nights, and everyone gets to participate. And we're just having a blast doing that. So thank you, all you Saturday nighters. Thank you so much, Eric K., the great Eric K. Holy Toledo! $5 super chat. As Klobby always tells me, thank goodness Stanley gave Kirby all those lessons and ideas. He always likes to mess with me. He knows I'm a Stanley critic. But, look, I behaved myself a week ago this past Monday when my good buddy John Cimino came on, and I was as diplomatic as you could be about Stan. So, and that's saying something for me, man. Thanks again, everyone. Of course, a big shout out to the great Stolen Loki. You have, of course, the link to his channel. It was in the chat, and it was also, of course, in the link in my description below with the links of many other great friends here on YouTube whose channels you should check out. He has an amazing channel. Plug anything you got going on, brother.
Oh, we've got a show coming up tomorrow morning. It'll be our Thirsty Thursdays, where anything can happen. God only knows what's going to happen. I've got a show coming up with the Dega Outlaw on Thursday night, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're going to close out the week with a bang on Friday and then do a little Echo Base pre-show on Saturday, hanging out with Mexican Iron Man.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. I appreciate you. And again, for those who don't know, and you probably all know what to hear, but if you don't, if you're a morning person, you know me, I'm always like I barely get to sleep by 6 o'clock. I don't know how you do it, bro. 8 p.m. Central. Loki takes care of your morning there, and of course, so I can't get to my computer, so I just listen on my phone. I lay there and lurk. So I listen to you every morning, unless I'm completely unconscious, which does happen sometimes, bro. But I try to get so I'm there lurking, brother. Anyway, it's a great morning show, everyone, and of course, also a great. You guys didn't do a gaming stream tonight, or did you?
No, we did not.
Okay,
no,
gotcha. But it's also fantastic at night on Thursday nights when he goes on with the great Adega Outlaw. So you're all amazing, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And not only does he do that, he does fantastic intro outros like this one here. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Clobbering time!